Flosstube. Long time no see. I think it's been about 4 months since the last time I filmed a video, and I don't really have any excuses other than we put the house on the market and work's been busy. I really don't have any excuses other than I didn't really feel like filming. I have been stitching. I don't know, I really haven't felt like videoing over the summer, filming over the summer. So I thought I would come back today. It's the 1st of September, so I thought, well, the kids are going back to school soon, and not that I have any, but everything's kind of dying down a little at work and things, so I thought, well, now is probably the right time to start filming Flosstube again. And I thought the best way to start would be to show you all of my whips and all of the projects that I have in my start pile, my active whips, to sort of show you the progress that I have made on some of them. Some of them also haven't been touched since January, and now's about the time of the year that I start trying to give myself goals to try and finish as many of them before the end of the year as I can, because the Stitch Mania group sales for next year have all gone up, and people are starting to talk about doing year of starts too. And some people have said, no, I'm not doing it, and now they are doing it. Katie, Queen of Starts, Stash Queen, I'm looking at you. And also I have a new phone, so hopefully I might be able to record a slightly longer video than half an hour, you never know. So this is kind of just me getting back into Flosstube and testing out my camera and doing all that kind of stuff. So I think first thing, let's just crack on. These are in no particular order. Some of them are still on frames because I've been Q-snaps rather, because I've been working on them. Others I've not worked on in a while, but I'm lazy and I haven't taken them off Q-snaps and things. So let's just crack on, and we'll talk about everything as it develops. So first up is my Frosted Pumpkin Pumpkin Passport stitch along. As you can see, I am really far behind. This is all finished, it's just all tucked into the Q-snap, so I can't be bothered to take it off. But there you can see I still haven't quite finished Switzerland. And then I think next is Greece, then Russia, then Egypt. Like, we're down here now, so it's like Egypt and India, and then the next one is due out fairly soon. I actually won't get it until 1 o'clock in the morning over here because I live in the UK, and with the time difference and everything, I won't get it until 1 o'clock in the morning, but I think they've hinted that it's Japan. So I'm fairly sure it's going to be Japan. So my aim for this month, for September, is to try and get this completely up to date, finish this border as well, finish the lower border underneath it. I'm not doing the top 2 borders. So yeah, my aim for September is to try and get this caught up, because to be honest, I'm really not enjoying this stitch along. I don't like the way that all of the images run together. I've said this in previous videos. And I thought by putting it away and then coming back to it, I'd enjoy it more, because there'd be more of the design to just crack on and work with, and I'm not loving it. I really wish that I'd done the Clouds Factory postcards stitch along, which I may still purchase. I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, so that's how far I've got with this one. I'm stitching this one on a 32 count, Jobelin, from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie in Snowdrifts. So that's that one. The only modification I've made to the pattern is I didn't put in the bluebirds above the Eiffel Tower. Switzerland I stitched as charted, not Switzerland, Holland I stitched as charted, and with Switzerland I've just taken the swan out, and I'm not going to put the sheep on the top of the mountain because the scale's off massively for me. Like, the swan's huge compared to everything else, and the sheep is like the same size as the mountain, and it just, I can't wrap my head around that, so not bothering with that one. But so that's that one. Next up is my Mythical Creatures calendar from Clouds Factory. As you can see, I'm also really far behind on this one. It was another one I just kind of lost heart with. No, Windows gonna block that one. So I've almost finished March. I'm not quite sure. I think I've just got the white in the cloud left to do, and then the rest of the little flames in there. And then again, in September, I'm hoping to get this all caught up, as I have quite a ways to go with that one. And if I remember rightly, this is stitched on, oh, I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what fabric it is, but it's a 28 count Jobelin again from Pole Stitches this time. And I have a toothless needle minder, which was from Nifty Needle Nannies. And it is part of the stash that I have received over the last couple of months. I'm not going to be doing a stash video because I genuinely don't remember everything that I've bought over the last couple of months. I do have some orders coming in, and hopefully I will film a video when those come in. But other than that, I'm not going to go back and show stash from the last 4 months, nearly 5 months now, because it's a lot of needle minders, pretty much all from Nifty Needle Nannies. So Julie, thank you. Massive double thumbs up. Absolutely love every single one of them. I might try and film a video, my next video, in my craft area so you guys can actually see all of my needle minders, because I have new needle minder storage as well, but we'll see. Next up, let's go with, sorry, they're all over the bed that you can't see, but they're all over the bed by me. The rest of these pretty much I'm fairly sure I haven't touched, but we'll go through them anyway. This one is Some See a Wish by Pine Mountain Designs. So I did this in a rush, I'm not organised. So that's what the finished design will look like. This is as far as I've gotten. So I've finished all the wording, and I've started, you can't really see them, but I've started putting in the white stitches for the dandelion, which is there. And this was just done on a scrap of blue linen from my stash. And all it's taught me is that I can't stand linen at all. I love even weave. And to be honest, I'm at the point where I'm sort of thinking I may restitch this on an even weave, because I don't like the way that the white stitches look on linen, but I'm undecided as of yet. So that's that one. This one doesn't have a goal for September. It was part of my goals for August, was to get this one finished, and I started those white stitches and it went into timeout, so I'm undecided as of yet. If I go through all the rest of the ones for September, then figure it out. So this one I'm aiming to finish in September. It is Autumn Birdhouse by Vervico. So that's what it looks like. I'm stitching, I have all 4 seasons, and I'm going to stitch all 4 of them on this 28 count antique, not antique white, just 28 count white, even, I think it's 28 anyway. But that's my progress. So I just have to finish the other side of the house, put some of the leaves in, and actually stitch the bird. I'm trying to keep the bird for last, before second to last, before the back stitch, just because it's the only other piece of colour. All the rest of it is all the shades of like tan and brown, but I think it's coming out really well. I love the shading in it. When I'm working on it, I can't see any of the shading, but then like seeing it in the camera like this, like I can really see the difference that the shades all make, and like the tonal quality of it, and it really makes it look 3D and makes it stand out. So I'm really enjoying it. So I'm hoping I'll get back into this one this month because it would be quite nice to finish at least this one, and then I'll try and get the other 3 seasons stitched next year so I can get it framed. That one. I've left one of them on the floor. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oof. Okay. So this is the one that I've been working on most recently this week. I was aiming to get this section finished, and I was so close. I have like one more row of objects to stitch in. But this is my Triforce collection from Sprite Stitch. It's a free download from spritestitch.com. And I'm stitching the entire thing in Petite Treasure Braid 03. And it's all items that you can collect from, like, as you're playing the Legend of Zelda games. Like, they're all items that you can pick up in the game, in all the different games. So we have a bomb bag that I've nearly finished, the ocarina, a small dungeon key, a fairy, the master sword, bow and arrows, a bomb chew, which is like a little creature that when you set it down, it like moves towards the target and then explodes. And the lens of truth, I think that one is, which I can't remember what it's used for. I think it's to show you hidden objects in dungeons and things within the game. So I was aiming to finish this section. There's like another row of objects and it creates like a triangle, and then there's a second and third triangle. So my aim for September is to finish this row and finish the second triangle. These are slightly obscene goals because I didn't finish my ones from August, and my ones from August are mostly carrying over as well. But yeah, hopefully, in theory, I should be able to do this. And this one is being stitched on a 28, I think, 28 count Joblin from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie in Yuletide, which is this gorgeous mottled green colour, and the gold really pops on it in person. It's really sparkly in person, but it's really not showing up on camera. And then I have a Legend of Zelda needle minder from not Nifty Needle Nannies, Minding My Minders. There we go. So that's that one. I'm having to use the Q-Snap cover. This is one of 2 Q-Snap covers that I have, and I'm having to use it because this is my lunchtime work project, because the lighting at work is so much better than it is here, that it's the only way that I can actually see the holes on this green fabric with the glittery thread. So it's that one. So that's it in terms of whips for September. I have 2 new starts planned in. One is the new Frosted Pumpkin Costume Club stitch along, which I've printed off so I can show you what it looks like. I just haven't started it yet. The pattern came out like a week ago and I haven't had time to start it yet, but that's what part 1 looks like. It's very cute. I can't wait to stitch it. And I am stitching it on, it's another Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Find the tag. It's a 28 count Joblin in Cotton Candy from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And it's this gorgeous, like purple and blues, wrong way around. Purple and blues, a little bit of pink, and I'm using my Frosted Pumpkin limited edition needle minder. I'm very excited. Frosted Pumpkin have just announced that in November they will be taking pre-orders for their old needle minders, like all the old limited edition ones, which means I may, in theory, hopefully, if I can get there early enough, be able to pick up the ones that I missed for the Pumpkin Passport and the ones from like last year before I knew about Frosted Pumpkin. So it'd be really nice to kind of complete my collection, which would be really fun because I have every single needle minder that they've released since the Passport ones, but I missed out on the actual Passport ones. So fingers crossed. So I'm hoping to get part 1 stitched in September, and then part 2 comes out on September 22nd. And I'm hoping that I'll get that stitched in October, so this will be done in time for Halloween. So that's a preview of October plans, but that's my plan for September. Keep that one over there. And then my other new start is for the Star Trek stitch along, which is happening in Stitch Mania on the 6th of September to celebrate 50 years since Star Trek first came out on the telly. So I've seen a chart and I thought it was in the Star Trek cross stitch book that I have, but I can't find it in there, so I must have found it online somewhere. And it's the captain shirt so it's a yellow shirt, a blue shirt and a red shirt, and it says Captain, Science Officer, Doomed under the red shirt, because the people in red shirts always die on away missions, and I just think that's really funny and really cute and really small, and I'll just be able to stitch it up fairly quickly for this stitch on. So that's the end of my September plans. All the rest of them are whips that I have rotated in for the rest of the year, apart from one project which is going to carry over. So do I have it listed? I do. So in October, my plans are to keep up with Mythical Creatures and the Pumpkin Passport, and then I want to try and finish the Hallows Scornu, which is a chart I purchased from creativepoppy.com, but it's by Barbara Anna Designs, and I don't have the cover picture, unfortunately, but I'm stitching it on some Ada that I dyed purple a couple of years ago. It's this opalescent Ada, and unfortunately the sparkle, well, there you go, you can just about see the sparkles, and that's literally all I've done. I've done like a black line. So my aim is to have the whole top of the Biscornu finished by the end of October, and then sewn together with an identical size square for the back piece, because I don't really stitch back designs for them, I just stitch the top design. So that's my plan with that one. I have a long way to go. I haven't even got like colours kitted up or anything, and I took all my needle minders off to take a photo of them all. I haven't put it back on, but I'm using a little blingy candy corn one from Nifty Needle Knives. Pop that back in there for now. And then another one that I started back in January. Oh no, so then my other, sorry, I'm all over the place today. My other goal for October is to finish the Legend of Zelda one, that Triforce, so to finish the final triangle on that design, so that'll be that design finished as well. So that'll be 2 finishes and 3 to keep up with. 4 finishes, because I'm hoping to finish Costume Club as well. So it's Mythical Creatures, Pumpkin Passport, Triforce Collection to keep up with, Hallows Scornu to finish, the Costume Club to finish, and then my other goal is also a new start that I haven't shown you guys, but it's from like Stitch Mania. So this was my Stitch Mania start, and it's the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Can you tell I like Frosted Pumpkin? I have several of the designs on the go at the minute. Frosted Pumpkin Stitcheries Storytime Sampler, which I know so many people have stitched before, but as I said, I didn't discover them until earlier this year. So that's that one. And my goal for October is to finish stitching the frames. My goal for, what's it called? Stitch Mania was to finish stitching the frames, and I nearly got halfway. I stitched nearly 6 of them. I want to stitch all the frames before I actually like move on and actually start filling them in. And I've been like saving pictures off of Instagram and various other like Stitch Mania people who have finished stitching them, so I can kind of for inspiration. But this is as far as I've gotten. So I have the top row done, and then I've done Charlotte's Web, and I've almost finished, well, I've started the Peter Pan one, and all of these are being stitched 1 over 2 on 32 count Jobelin, I think, from Jodery Designs, and all the threads are Jodery Designs as well. So they're really, really cute, and I tried to tie the colours in to the theme of the book. So we have pink and purple for Alice in Wonderland, because it reminded me of the Cheshire Cat. Shades of green for the Secret Garden. Red and purple, red and brown, sorry, for Sherlock Holmes, because I liked the idea of doing the frame in red for A Study in Scarlet, which is the first Sherlock Holmes book, but I didn't want something that was solidly red, and the sort of tweedy brown in there just reminds me of Sherlock Holmes's original costume as well. And then we have rainbows for the Wizard of Oz block, and then I've done brown and pink, which is very, very pale pinky brown, for Charlotte's Web, Pigs in Mud. And then the blue one that I'm doing is called Mermaid's Lagoon, I think, from for Peter Pan. So, and then I haven't picked out the rest of the threads yet. So, and that's being done on Candy Floss. I don't know if I said that the colour was Candy Floss. I'm a little concerned that it's actually looking a bit grubby in places, so I might have to try and sponge clean it, which is a bit scary. But loads of people have done like loads of different variations on the frames. They've done like their own stories and things as well. So I'm trying to see, I've got enough fabric. Like I have all this fabric over here separate. So, and then it's quite a large piece of fabric as well. So I'm wondering if there's maybe a chance I can do like an extra row, excuse me, an extra row of frames to kind of incorporate as many of the conversions that people have done. I know that someone's done a Hogwarts one, which was Harry Potter one, sorry, which was lovely. I've seen a Jungle Book square, which was amazing. She did Tom Sawyer as well, and like Huckleberry Finn. So yeah, there's been a lot of, oh, and King Arthur as well. There was a lot of different stories that I would love to just incorporate and just make like one giant Storytime sampler, because I'm not going to do the banner across the top. But I'm not sure yet. Let's see how I get on doing the actual pieces it's charted, and then we'll see about doing additional ones as well. So that's that one. So that was my Mania start as well. So that's everything for October. And then in November, it's Keep Up with Mythical Creatures, Keep Up with the Pumpkin Passport, and then I want to finish my Oz Cityscape, because I made a real dent in this when it first came out, and then I haven't touched it since, and it's just a bit of a shame. So that's as far as I've got, and it's stitched on Brown Cloud, not Brown Cloud, sorry, Cloud Summer Sky by Fabric Flair. It's just a 28 count even weave I picked up at a show. And I've got threads trailing everywhere from the last time I stitched on it. And then I have a Lollipop Needle Minder from Nifty Needle Nose. So that's that one. And this is what the entire away. Still in the magazine. And that's what the design will look like when it's done. And it's designed by Jodie Rice of Satsuma Street. So I'm hoping to get that one finished in November. And then I also want to finish, this was another new start, but I can't remember when I started it, so I can't remember if I'd shown it or not. But it's the Ice Cream Sundae set from Country Cottage Needleworks. And there's massive glare going on there because I'm by a window. So it's there. I don't remember when I started this, and honestly my start on it is laughable. That's my start. I didn't even finish the row. And this is being stitched on Brown Cloud. This is where I was getting Brown Cloud from. So Cloud Brown from Fabric Flair. Again, it's just a 28 count even weave. So I'm hoping to get that one finished because it's all just wording really. It's fairly straightforward. It shouldn't be difficult. Get that one finished in November. And then I'm hoping to finish the borders on my Lizzie Kate 6 Fat Men. So everyone's seen the Lizzie Kate designs. So there's 6 different charts, and that's what the design will look like when it's finished. and I'm stitching them all as one piece on some Brown Cloud Ada from Fabric Flair. This was the last project that I started before I made the switch to even weave. And as you can see, I'm getting there with the borders. This one is finished. I need to finish the wording here. This one is finished. And then the other two still need finishing. And then I have a few more borders to put in place before I can start filling them in. But hopefully, because it's on Ada, it shouldn't take me as long. So that one. And then we're coming to the end of it. So plans for December are to finish the Pumpkin Passport, assuming I've managed to keep up with it. Finish Mythical Creatures, assuming I've managed to keep up with it. Finish the Six Fat Men. That's the big project. I'm trying to do it so I have like a couple of smaller projects and a couple of big projects for the month. This month being the exception. Finish the Storytime Sampler. So actually I have two rather large sort of projects to finish, but the Storytime Sampler things are quite small, but there's a lot of colour changes. And then the other one I wanted to finish was Make a Wish, which was a cover kit from Cross Stitch magazine several years ago. But it's by Margaret Sherry. It's this cute little mouse. And I started this in January for Stitch for the Crazy January challenge. And again, I think I'm going to restart because I don't like the fabric that I'm using. And I don't know which way up this went. That way. And that was my start. That was as far as I got. And I think I'm either going to frog it and do it in one strand, or I'm going to restart and do it on Ada. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so that's that one. I didn't get very far with that one, but I'm hoping I'll get that one finished as well. Which means that the only project that will carry over, if I get all of that done and I manage to stay on top of everything, the only thing that will carry over into 2017 is my Santa's Village by Country Cottage Needleworks, which I'm stitching all in one on a 32 count Jobelin in Frozen Fractals by Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And well, it's a huge piece of fabric, but this is as far as I've gotten with the first design in the order that I'm stitching them, because I'm stitching them in a different order. So that's as far as I've got. You can't even see the snowflakes very well, but I have started stitching the white there. I have substituted the white for the blank white, sorry, for B5200, so it is the brighter white of the two. But yeah, that's as far as I've got. Hopefully I'll be able to make some headway with that one next year. It'll probably end up being a monthly stitch along thing for the Stitch Mania Christmas All Year Round stitch along. So those are my plans for the rest of the year. That is the progress on all of my whips that I have. The only other thing that I started that I have finished and it was a gift, so I have photos, but I don't know how to insert them because I haven't figured out how to edit my videos yet, which I will do. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get into editing and captioning, excuse me, my videos fairly soon. So maybe when I get around to doing that, I'll try and insert a picture. But there are photos up on the Stitch Mania page. But I stitched a wedding sampler for my brother because my brother got married on the 8th of August, so almost a month ago now. But I stitched a wedding sampler for him and his new wife from Etsy. I know I bought it from Etsy. I can't remember the name of the seller, unfortunately, but it said Mr. and Mrs. and it had flowers all around it, and I substituted all of the colours so that it would match their wedding colours, and they absolutely loved it. I finished it with about 2 days to spare in terms of getting it framed and wrapped before the wedding. So I finished it on time, which was a good thing. But they absolutely loved it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've done in 5 months. So I've not made an awful lot of progress, but I've made some, and I've bought some stash and tried to sell the house. It's not going very well, but I'm not going to talk about that here. On the upside, we are just over 30 minutes in and my phone hasn't cut out yet. So it looks like I can start thinking about recording longer videos, which is a nice thing. So yeah, that's it, I think, from me for this month. I will be back probably with the stash video, hopefully sometime in the next week or so. I've got a couple of needle minder orders coming in, surprisingly not from Nifty Needle Nannies, which feels very strange. I may have to place an order just because, but I have some coming from Nessa's Needle Minders and Delicious Threads, which are both sellers I've not used before. I have some magazines coming in. I have a chart coming in. Yeah. So lots and lots of goodies coming in that hopefully I'll be able to show you guys soon. Yeah, otherwise I will check back in October 1st. I think I'm going to try and do monthly update videos rather than weekly, at least for this side of the year. Just to kind of get myself back into the habit of recording videos, and then in January I might try and tackle them like weekly again, because next year, rather than doing, I'm gonna do the year of starts, but I'm doing a much heavily modified year of starts. I am aiming to do 1 new start a week, and yes, I will include things like Santa's Village where there are 12 parts. I will count those as, excuse me, a new start every week for each individual chart, but it will count as one finish. So I'm aiming to have 52 new starts, one for every week of the year. Yep. But I'm also aiming to have 17 finishes, because I'm aiming to have 16 finishes in 2016. So I'm aiming to have 17 finishes in 2017. And yeah, I'm going to try and get as many of my pieces to tie in with various stitch alongs throughout the year. There are literally like so many stitch alongs planned in for next year for Stitch Mania, and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to participate in all of them because I simply won't have the time. And I think I'm learning very much about myself that as much as I enjoy collecting stash and I do want to start all the things, I am learning very much that I am a product stitcher. I like the finished